Greetings, fellow ship engineers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Bounty Hunter. Episode 6. Working towards Coffin Ship 2.0. Now, big picture, if I ever want weapon systems on my ship, which I might at some point want, weapons are pointy. So, like, I have to use my cursor because that's all I have. But if I wanted railguns are big. And they're going to need some room. Now, as a bounty hunter, obliterating my target so that their body is gone is not really the ideal. You want to be able to get up close and personal and either shoot them with a gun or stab them with a weapon. Because if you blow them to smithereens, you don't have proof of life or death. So ship weapons aren't necessarily meta for a bounty hunter, unless I also want to like kill some people. All right, roster. Do not restore parts. Because I don't want to be doing that right now. So taking a look, I would like to, at this moment, add some more floors. So let's open up the visor. These are floor Bs. I want these floors. Yeah, let's get those. And I'm being picky, but I choose, you know, it's what I want to do, so. There we go, another batch. So yeah, I would like to have some weapon systems on my ship, like, far in the future, and I want to design it in such a way that I don't have to, like, tear anything out if and when I want to add weapons. So I'm just building with that in mind to allow for kinetic weapons and, you know, potentially other weapon systems too. They're just not very effective in bounty hunting because you kind of need a body to be able to prove you've killed someone. And if there's no body left, your word taken in, there's no reason for them to believe you on an honor system. I'll put it that way. God, I really need to empty out more crap from my inventory. I'll do that too. I keep filling my inventory up and not having room for the stuff I really want. So this old helmet, I'll put there. PDAs, I'll put down. And then in my spare parts backpack, I'm going to put my civil engineering books. I can actually hold on to that. I'll also put the flask in as well. So I have a lot more room now. Now I want everyone to clap and cheer for me when I get the correct floors this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm kidding. You don't need to patronize me. No, it's not if. I got it right. I got it right. Credit where credit is due. I'm owed 0 credit, by the way. Now the real trick is, can I find it quickly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to expand my cabin to be have more volume. And I'm gonna rip a lot of stuff out soon. I just want the ship to be functioning as I'm changing it, so that if I like need to run or go back to civilization or whatever, like I can get there. All right, install hull. Or B. There we go. And then we have some holes here, which I made to accommodate the things that are installed, which will change. The other thing I can do is I can put the... Oh, don't take the suit off. That would be much ouch. Put the spear away, because I don't need to be holding it at the moment. There's no one here. Okay. There's a few more floor pieces that I want. Let's go fetch them. To count up all of them. There's also one other style that like I don't find hideous, which is the floor A Mobilite frameworks. These sort of like grid systems. And then there's also the white bathroom styled, which I might reserve just for the bathrooms, because they look like bathroom tiles to me. But there's a few more floor tiles that I could fetch. So we've got 8 more. Cool. And that, unless I repair, there's a few broken ones that I could repair, but like, I'm not that desperate. All right, now I'm going to grab the dolly carefully, not to vent everything out. Oh, I vented everything out anyway. Okay, I guess I don't need to be careful. Ha! Saves me the effort. And order, uninstall walls, not floors. And we'll just do a batch. I'm sure a lot of these walls are of... Where the hell am I going? Oh, I'm drinking water. I'm sure a lot of these walls are like in poor condition, but like cables are sketchy to install in poor condition because they could spark and cause fires. But things like walls and floors are just going to break. And they're going to break elegantly enough that it's not going to kill you in most scenarios. Unless a pirate's trying to kill you and a wall breaks and they breach. Like, that would be the condition where it would be sketchy. The good news is, now that I don't have walls, like, I don't have pressure in here, I don't really care if I remove a lot of stuff. Like, I can rip things out now. I'm not, like, protecting oxygen. And do the heavier stuff, are they tougher, more durable? They might be. I'm not actually sure about that, though. I think they're just more massive. But I could be wrong. With the dolly out, we can now grab the walls. We can grab up to, yeah, there we go, 16 of them. So I have 8 more floors that I want to work with. So I'm going to do, this will be like first pass. We'll just call this first pass. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for floors. And I could never get placeholders to visualize. Wait, what do you... What just... Where's my dolly? Oh, you ditched it. What? Why? It used to be that you would very accidentally jettison dollies, and they patched it so that doesn't happen as easily, but like, what the heck just happened? Why did I just separate from, I don't know, whatever. All right. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. So I'm trying to create a cabin that I can work out of. That would be big picture. Oh, though I accidentally installed walls there. Alright, that doesn't need to be a wall. The other walls actually are going to be there, so I'm okay with that. Install hall floor. 1, 2, 3. Technically, you don't, like, for your most external walls, you don't need floors there. I just like to do it. And I am about to be bingo oh, you know what? You are probably not even actually working, because I think you don't have power to that welder. Other tools are like at 90%. It was just the welder that was, or the friction welder, that stir welder that was dying. Okay, install hall wall. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the things that need to be installed on the external of our ship, like the optics and the thrusters, are going to be installed on these new external walls. And then I'm going to rip out all the internal walls of our current ship. They're going to go. They're going to get torn out. And this is all to work towards being a bounty hunter, where we need a ship capable of actually capturing people alive. So to talk about that a little bit while I do the ship redesign, you would need a part of your ship that you can lock in order to bounty hunt. Because if you can't lock a captured target alive, then you don't have them captured. You can't deliver them anywhere. So you need essentially a prison cell. To be able to do bounties. And, that's what I want to add. Oh, you know what? I put this in a bad spot. Cancel. Cancel. There we go. That's better. So these are unpowered. And because my only thruster is unpowered at the moment, it does mean, like, if I needed to go anywhere, I'd have to wire it up. But it's only going to be that way for very little amounts of time. Okay. Install hull wall 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're slowly building a new cabin that is got more space. And the additional space is going to allow me to have things not piled up on one another. It's going to allow me to have a suit charger, atmospherics, heater, cooler, that kind of stuff. Basically a cabin to live in. And there we go. That is the last of the walls I had on hand. Perfect. Now, orders uninstall. And this is the old walls. And this is going to be, do I have a visor on? No. This is going to be very initially destructive. because all of my old walls are not mobile light, and I'd rather put mobile lights in. So we are ripping everything out. The good news is I'll get a little bit of light as a consequence. But a lot of things are just going to be weird until I've finished redoing it. Now, the only thing that really cannot move is the transponder. I mean, I could, but there's a nearly guaranteed chance that I break it trying to move it. And then if I do break it, I am no longer like street legal. We're also getting tired in game. Okay, that's got to be a bug. There's zero reason for me to be... Oh, my suit's out of battery. Whoops. So there was a reason I was running out of oxygen. I forgot. So these walls are all 25 kilograms, and the mobile light walls are lighter. I'll get a weight on them in just a second. But I'm hoovering up all the old walls, and I'm just going to, like, delete them. Just toss them out to space. Essentially, the ablative cascade was caused by shipbreakers like me. Although if I'm at 1036 Ganymede, I'm assuming I'm like within the roughly within the gravity well of like Jupiter or something. I don't know. Maybe it won't become a Kessler syndrome thing. That doesn't really apply here, technically speaking, because I'm not in the upper atmosphere of a planet. But whatever. I am causing debris. All right, there we go. Let's grab some more walls from over here. And then these walls are 20 kilograms. So from 25 to 20, they're lighter. And I don't really need to worry about like pressure or anything because I've obviously depressurized everything. So install all wall 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't actually don't. Oh, that's the airlock. Yeah, okay. Now, realistically, this would have been a little bit more, it would have been faster and more efficient had I waited for me to have like a Weber laser, but like, I just didn't want to wait that long. I have no idea when that's going to be made available to me. Now, the internal floors here are obviously not mobile light systems, so they're not lighter, but I'm fine with that. I'm not going to tear them out. In other words, really, I ran out of walls? Oh God, I'm going ridiculously far for them. And we're doing the wrong type. Okay, I need to strip up some more new ones. So orders, uninstall, more. Because I didn't specify what kind of walls, my character's just like grabbing anything that's loose, and it might not be of the right style. In this case, it was just by chance because that's what was close. I'm using light ones because it's a fuel saver. A light vessel costs less fuel to move, and therefore my range increases too. And it's not even by that small of a measure. If the mobile light stuff is like, let's say 20% lighter, that's 20% less fuel that I need to burn. That's like kind of a big immediate savings, in my opinion. Which is why I almost always go for mobile light only, just because why use lots of fuel when you can use less? All right, let's do antenna now. Now there's going to be, we're going to go dark briefly while the antenna is getting reinstalled. But I'm going to put the antenna here. And then I'll have to do some new conduiting. And it's also going to kill my Kang while I do it too. We're still installing the walls. Tools still have good charge. That's good. And the reason why I'm going for the cables that I already have here is these are in good condition and aren't going to explode on me. Which is kind of important when you... I mean, I'm in vacuum right now, but like if I try to repressurize it and I use shoddy cables that are very damaged, and I repressurize, it's just going to cause a big fire. Alright, the antenna is about to be back on. So let's plug that back in. So I'm going to grab one of these batteries and then stick it, like, here or something. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. No, oh my god, wrong key again. Install. There. Just trying to decide design-wise. Because if I mirror the other side, I don't want to take up those slots. Alright, so our antenna's on, and we are broadcasting our, like, info, aka we're, like, legal again. Alright, I'm going to uninstall the other batteries. So the only thing that really can't move until I, like, pay a big price to buy a new one is the transponder. So I'm going to leave the transponder alone, even though it's probably going to end up in a spot that I don't like. It's just the way it is. And I'm going to move the battery chargers. And what, for design, what I like to do is to have the battery chargers really accessible very easily so that we can swap batteries like right at the airlock. And then have, I gotta get my visor on, have a door that acts as an airlock close to the actual airlock, but giving a little bit of room for space. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking on this, I guess if I do price viz, it will be easier. I'm looking for a door I can add. This ship might not have any doors. Whatever doors it had, I might have scrapped. Yeah, it don't have doors. It doesn't have any doors. Literally none. Okay. Because I was going to add like a door here so that this is, if I have a pressurized cabin, when I walk through, I don't vent everything out rapidly because there's two sets of doors. But I can't do that because I scrapped everything. 'Tis fine. Okay. Next up, let's move the king. The intakes. I did say I was going to want more intakes eventually. So I'm going to set them up. Let's see. Here, maybe? Why let outside? Because I want it. Because if I'm trying to maintain the ship, and I'm outside, it's nice to have it illuminated and for me to not stumble around in the dark. I mean, there's ways to have you have access to like overlays that makes it artificially lighter, but sometimes it's just nice to have a source of light. All right, we're putting in some extra walls. And then, at least for now, I'm not really planning on incorporating... I'm not putting this inside. This is not going to be pressurized. This is just going to be like a weird platform behind our ship that we just use for salvage storage until I have more wealth and time and resources to invest. All right, with that done, uninstall the O2 can or N2 can and put it where the king is. I'm gonna get rid of actually orders. Uninstall Conduit. All the internal conduit is gonna go. And then we'll rewire it to be a little bit more sensible. With running wires to the optical sensors and the thrusters, because, you know, if we had to make a... If we had to go anywhere right now, I don't have thrust, I don't have nav, I don't... You know, we're kind of dead in the water. Now, the jumper cable styled cables I want to get rid of. I just don't like the look of them. They're functionally no different, but they look jank. And I don't like things that look jank. So, it's personal choice. Alright, visor power. So we are going to want to install power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is getting the Kang intake back online and powered, and then we'll add cables to the other side for the thruster and the sensor. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I would need 12. I have 6 of 12. So let's go fetch some conduit. Not all this conduit is probably going to be worth using. Oh, where are we auto-tasking to? I ate some random found food. Good. That won't be nasty. Not at all. So I have 13 now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down these stacks of conduit and restore them. So that I'm not using any jank cables. So if we just wait to restore it, we should be good. No. I think we have to repair it. But there isn't a repair task. We could do orders, repair, and set up a auto repair task for it to repair all the items in the stack, and then making sure that we're not installing any conduit that is going to like explode. However, we're in a vacuum, so I'm not going to go that far right now, just because there's no way it's going to cause fires. Because we'll just restore it while it's in the wall. That, and I have damage overlay, and I can see, whoops, if there's any parts of the conduit that are like a big problem. Because yeah, there's like this conduit, for instance, that is terrible. Fire hazard. And then this conduit, that's a fire hazard. And I think those are the only two that are, like, awful. All the other conduit is hardy enough that it's not going to explode on me. Alright. I stopped, so presumably I'm out of conduit. Or I can't path to it, which is more likely the case. Cheers, by the way. Now this switch, I'm just going to toss. I don't really need it. It's not worth really any money. The other bag I had, let's put it not in the main concourse, and then put this nav right here, smack dab in the middle of everything. I know it's in a horrible location. That's kind of by design. It will be fixed later on, and then I'm going to move this battery to where I'm standing now. And then add a few more walls and a few more floors and wrap this up. That was weird. I threw you out. Okay, so I'm planning on having, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more floors. For the initial redesign. So orders, uninstall. Seven. And, like, sometime down the line, I'll endeavor to make everything mobile light, just as a complete personal preference. Like, anal retentive levels of personal preference. But, for now, this will do. So, this is the mobile light flooring A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, transponder's off. Hope cops don't notice. Yep, I know. Maybe I'll get the cables for that now. So I was planning on doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 walls. I'll do that before the transponder. So I have 8 of the 9 walls with me now. You can kind of see, like, what this will eventually look like. Inside this cabin now is enough room for like atmospherics and pressure and stuff like that. Extra thrusters and suit chargers, you know, just like the stuff that you might want. And then out here is large enough for salvage, for a reasonable amount of money's worth of salvage. Did I miscount? Oh no, we already placed it. Cool. Okay, I'm going to put the dolly down. Now we need 9 plus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 worth of conduit, let's say. And that will be the final task this stream. I also am going to need to switch out my my stir welder battery before it goes dead. So what I'm doing is I'm just like cherry picking the conduit that doesn't look terrible, because there's lots of conduit everywhere. I could just pick and choose the conduit that isn't going to require a lot of restoration. Because one of the other design ideas that I had for the ship, oh, here's pristine conduit that is never broken. That's funny. Is, you know, to make it very walkable so that it's easy to maintain. Because if it's annoying to maintain, it's going to be a real pain in the long run. Personally, I don't care about pristine conduit. I wasn't actively trying to get it. I just got it for its durability. Not because I wanted to collect pristine anything. One more conduit and we're good. Alright. Hop up in there. And that should power everything back on. Was I hoping the cops didn't notice? Yep, pretty much. Did I plug the transponder in the correct spot? Visor for power? No, not even like a little bit. I need to plug it in there. Okay, one more conduit then. Or two more for symmetry's sake. Transponders on. Alright, so we have a cabin that is like maybe slightly larger than double the size. That is a room, a compartmentalized room that can eventually be pressurized. We obviously need to install like airlocky stuff and pressure and pumps and stuff, but a lot more room, and that's what matters. And then salvage, and salvage that is ready to go. Now, before I end the stream, there's some turbo pumps here, but like they're, to be honest, kind of a dime a dozen. They're not super important, but I've designed this in such a way that we could add our canisters out here that face pumps inwards, so that we're not even using up a lot of floor space for pumps. So actually, maybe before I end the stream, I'll just grab two of these for pressurization purposes. I'll just do that now. I mean, it won't take me very long. And install them. And these are going to be for oxygen and nitrogen once we decide to add... oh, I actually have a loose one right here. Once we decide to pressurize our cabin. Okay. Up. And in fact, I'll even put an O2 tank canister there, and then seek out an N2. Here's an 86% full one. An N2 can here, which is used eventually to pressurize a cabin. Now, what we are missing is a door for a double airlock, which is just ease of convenience. And then we're missing the sensors required for it as well. So we would need, we have a smoke alarm, but that's all we have. So we would need all of the, you know, the normal sensing type stuff, like O2, N2, temperature, etc. I don't have heaters or coolers yet, but before I like essentially sign off on this derelict, you can think of it as like signing off on it, I would want to search for whatever sensor devices that I would need. Not that they're expensive, but sometimes they're hard to find. So, oh, there's a O2 can that was like hidden under there that's actually worth, it's 98% full, so it's actually worth a penny. All right, back to sensors. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like finish this ship so I can leave it behind me and be done with it. But I actually, honestly, but there's a lot more turbopumps here, but I don't see any sensors. Like, at all. There's this optical sensor that is broken that I can repair, but I don't see any gas sensors anywhere. No, nothing atmospherics. So that's going to be on the shopping list for the future, so that we can pressurize our cabin and be one step closer to being able to do live capture. Because if I need to take people alive, as part of our bounty hunting, it doesn't really work if they immediately asphyxiate as soon as we've captured them. But this, after having done a fair bit of redesign of the ship and all, this is where I'm going to leave off for today. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Bounty Hunter, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow shipwreckers.